Is there a case, I mean, you worked so many, that really stays with you?
So just last year, right after the Kyle epiphany, Natalee Holloway was one of the last cases I had provided information on. And I always said she was in the water. Said she's in the water. Vandersloot did it. This is what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, I went on news programs. It was not a secret. And they finally got his admission last fall, I believe, sometime around that. So I was able to close that in my mind because the answers were there. There's only one case after that one out of all the cases I've ever worked that has no conclusion, and it was Mikelle Biggs. And that will always bother me. She was my driving force in starting an Amber Alert in Arizona, serving on the task force to design it. I actually asked her mother to come with me to knock on doors to get the Amber Alert passed into Arizona. So that it was a law, it was a function that we had available to us because the majority of stranger abductions, I believe the FBI statistic is they're killed, the low statistics within 7 hours, but it's usually really within like 3. So as soon as they're removed to a remote area, they're dead. Unless they're one of the miracles that survives the strangulation or whatever the mode of murder was. And the Amber Alert, they in Dallas, Fort Worth area, they were using it there. So when I went to Texas for my first case, which was the Opal Jennings case, she was a little girl. When I went out there, the cop that I was riding in the car with was telling me about the Amber Alert and that it was created for Amber Hagerman, who was raped and murdered in the Fort Worth area. And so that's why I brought it back to Arizona, because they only had it in the Fort Worth, Dallas-Fort Worth area and in San Diego. Those were the only 2 places in the entire country that had it. So this was a long time ago, mind you. And so I wanted it in Arizona. And with Tracy Biggs' help, Mikelle's mother, we knocked on enough doors that J.D. Hayworth was the only politician that actually called us back and listened to us and helped us implement it. Clear Channel is worried about being sued because they're like, what if it's a prank? I'm like, what if it's not?
Yeah.
What if it's a real child abducted? It's not worth it. If we have to deal with pranks, so be it.
Yeah.
And then they were worried about, well, what if they don't meet the age requirement? What if it's an old person? I'm like, can we cross that bridge after we get like the bones of this put down? I knew Molly Bish's story because I had met her parents through Tracy Biggs, and she was a lifeguard that was abducted from her post. And so I got them to raise the age to 17 in Arizona because at the time it was 15 because they thought a lot were runaways.
Yeah.
I'm like, a lot of them aren't. And so they did raise it to 17, so I did that. That made me proud.
Amazing.
Yeah.